Good morning, class. Class today, I'm going to start the first activity, and it is of based on equivalence relation. You know, the relation R, when it can be equivalence, then there are three conditions is being satisfied. So first is reflexive, symmetric, and transitive, right? So on this activity I written here, this is the previous knowledge required, which is for the activity, and the objective is to verify that the relation R on a set of all lines drawn in a plane, and the relation R is defined as L and M. They are the two lines, and the relation R is L and M are either parallel to each other or they are coinciding to each other, right? So if means the line L and M are parallel or be coincide, this is the relation R. Okay, so class, the previous knowledge is the first thing is that any subset of A cross A means we make relation from R to R, right? Relation R, and we're doing mapping from R to R. So any subset of A cross A is called a relation on a set A. This is the very basic thing for Cartesian product. This is for the relation, and these are the three conditions I mentioned here. The first, actually, I just only revise of these relations: reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. So it is mentioned here relation R is reflexive when A comma A, when it is belongs to R. Okay, means L itself, that line, if the line L is parallel or coinciding to each other, then we say the relation R is reflexive. And if the R is symmetric, then A and B, relation R is being satisfied between A and B, and as well it is also being satisfied between B and A. Okay, if you are changing the place, and if you the relation R is being satisfied, then we say the relation R is symmetric. In the same manner for transitive, as we know, for example, we take a three line ABC. If A and B, R is either coinciding or parallel to B, and if B is either coinciding or parallel to C, then if we getting A and C, A, B, B, C, and AC, if A and C are being coinciding or parallel to each other, then we say the relation R is transitive. This is the required three condition for equivalence. Okay, so class, after this, it is the 5 required things for the activity for this colored paper: pencil of different colors, geometry box, scissors, and adhesive. And after this class, from here the procedure is started. First, you take a one colored paper of size 12 into 15 centimeter. Okay, it is a size approx, and we draw any 9 lines on that paper. In all amongst the 9 lines, some of them are parallel to each other, some of them will be perpendicular to each other, and some of neither parallel nor perpendicular, right? So class, this is the procedure. After this, after drawing this figure, and after this I am going to draw this figure on the board, and as well we will discuss, we will write the observation, and we will prove that the relation R is equivalence. After drawing the paper, we will discuss on the figure, and after discussion we will reach on our result is that the R is equivalence, means the R is reflexive, symmetric, and as well transitive. This all three things we have to prove. We will show out, we will understand by this activity. Class, activity, you know, the activity, the concept of activity, and the aim of activity is that we can understand our topic in a practical way. Practically, we can observe that the R is reflexive, symmetric, and as well transitive, right? Simple relation I take in class. Okay, so after this I am going to draw the figure, and going to explain you how it is reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. Okay class, just class, and you have to make a mass practical file that should be interleave as you have drawn in class 11. In the same manner, we will do here 10 activity. Okay, and the internal marks, which is of 20 marks, in which the 10 marks which is of mathematics mathematics activities, okay, and in the 10 marks it is divided into three parts. One is 5, 2 and 3. 5 marks which is for your file, 2 marks for your viva, and 3 marks which is for assessment of math. What activity we do study here, we will do in the last assessment. So 3 marks for assessment. Okay class, this is the categorization for marks in your internal marks of 20 marks. Okay, and so class, now I'm going to do observation after this. Class, now after this, now I read all the observation here, possible observation what can be done here. Class, this is the figure where I draw the 9 lines. Okay, some are parallel to each other. You see 3, 4, 5 are parallel to each other, and 1 and 2 are parallel. These are two perpendicular, and line 6, 7, 8, 9, they are neither parallel nor perpendicular, but they 6, 7, 8, 9, the other line, they are neither parallel nor perpendicular, but they are coinciding to each other. Line 6 is coincided to itself. Line 7 is coinciding to itself. Line 8 is coinciding to itself. Line 9 is coinciding to itself. And the relation R is actually L and M are either coinciding or parallel to each other. If the two lines, for example, if you are taking the line 1 and 2, they are parallel to each other. Okay, so line 1 will be coinciding to each other and as well parallel to each other. Any one condition that should be satisfied. There are the two conditions. One is coinciding and parallel. Okay, in amongst these two words, that should be either coinciding or parallel. Okay, any one condition that should be satisfied with any line, then R will be, then our relation, we can say it's a symmetric, transitive and reflexive. So I just take the for example L1, for example. After this, actually what I written here, we come on this lines class. It is a set of line 1 to 9. After this, L and 2 are what the drawing what we have drawn. All things I mentioned here. L1 and L2 are parallel. 3, 4, 5 are parallel. Okay. L1 is perpendicular to 3, 4, 5. L2 is perpendicular to 3, 4, 5. Clear? So these all the things what we have drawn. These all I have mentioned here. After this, from number 6, what is mentioned here? A line is always coinciding with itself. Meaning is that any line, we have taken the 9 lines here, right? So any line that will be coinciding to itself. So relation R will be satisfied here because every line will be coinciding with itself. Alright. So relation R will be satisfied. Then we can say L1 R L2, L1 R L1, L2 R L2, L3 R. What is R? R is coinciding, either coinciding or parallel. So L1 is coinciding to L1, L2 is coinciding to L2, L3 is coinciding to L3, and so on, and up to L9 will be coinciding to line L9 because every line is coinciding with itself. Alright. So with all the lines from line 1 to 9, all the lines property relation reflexive is being satisfied with all the 9 lines. Right? Clear? So as I mentioned here, Li and Li means any line. What is I? I is from 1 to 9. Right? And from the 7 point, if a line L is actually these are the number 6 I mentioned, line is coinciding with itself, and number 7 I mentioned parallel. L is parallel to M, then M is also will be parallel to L. Clear? It's a very simple thing. Means L1 is parallel to L, then L2 is parallel to L1, L3 is parallel to L4, L4 is parallel to L3, L4 is parallel to L5, L5 is parallel to L4. Clear? So after this, what I mentioned here, with these two conditions, coinciding and parallel, I mentioned possible pair. What we can written here with according to relation, and the relation is line either coinciding or parallel. So what is mentioned here? You see here L1 and L1. What is the meaning of L1? How do I write here L1 and L1? Why do I write here L1 comma L1? because these both lines are coinciding to each other, so these one pair can be formed. So I mentioned here L1 comma L1, L2 comma L2, L3 comma L3, L4 is coinciding with L4, so it can this pair can be formed, and it is going up to L9 to L9. Okay, this it is finished now. Okay, means from these all means from here to here I written all the pair with condition the lines are coinciding with each other. Okay, so with itself, sorry. And after this it is starting here L1 and L2. So it is how do I mention here? It is according to this condition. Line L is parallel to M, then M is parallel to L. Okay, so it is mentioned here L1 is parallel to L2, then L2 is parallel to L1. Okay, L3 is parallel to L4, and L4 to 3, 4 to 5, 5 to 4, and 3 to 5, and 5 to. Okay, I not mention here all this time because we cannot write L6 is parallel to L5 or L5 is parallel. It is we cannot write. So this thing I did not mention here. Only I mention these are lines L6, 7, 8 and 9 with the condition of coinciding. L6 will be coinciding to itself. I not mention here L6 is parallel to L7 and L7 is parallel to S. No, I did not mention because they are not parallel. They are not parallel. They are neither parallel nor perpendicular to anyone. Okay, so with these four lines L5, L6, 7, line 8 and line 9. This all I have mentioned only for condition with coinciding, not for parallel. It is mentioned. It is clear. So after this, what I mentioned here in the last we can say Li and Li means any line is there. I is maybe from 1 to 9. Any line means it is we are discussing about any line Li comma Li belongs to relation R, then R is reflexive. Okay, means if you are taking A and A, means from line 1 to 9, all this any line we can take A comma A in the form of A comma A, then we say then R is reflexive. Okay, so class, this thing it is finished here. Relation R is reflexive. After this, now I reached on some other I'm going to explain symmetry, and it is already being explained here. It is mentioned here L1 and L2, then 2 and 1 they are parallel to each other. Okay, कोई भी एक कंडीशन हो जाना चाहिए ना, या तो कंसेक्यूटिव से हो जाए या तो पैरेलल से हो जाए. L3 and L4, L4 and L3, L3 is parallel to L4, then L4 is parallel to L3 भी होगा. क्लियर, ये भी कंडीशन फॉलो हो रही है. एक्चुअली क्या है क्लास, इस क्वेश्चन में और एक्टिविटी में क्या डिफरेंस है? अब क्वेश्चन अगर हम लोग कर रहे होते तो क्वेश्चन के अंदर हम इन सारी चीजों को मेंशन नहीं करते, हम एनालिटिकली एक एनालिसिस करते, एनालिसिस को किसी वेरिएबल के टर्म में एक्सप्रेस कर देते, हमारा क्वेश्चन ओवर हो जाता. इन 1 and 2 लाइन वी हैव बीन प्रूव्ड देन आर इज रिफ्लेक्सिव, आर इज सिमेट्रिक, आर इज ट्रांजिटिव. लेकिन हम एक्टिविटी कर रहे हैं, एक्टिविटी के अंदर जो हम मेंटली इवैल्यूएट करते हैं उन सारी चीजों को यहां पर मेंशन करते हैं. इट इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन, बिकॉज इट इज एक्टिविटी वी आर डूइंग, राइट, नॉट वी आर डूइंग द क्वेश्चन. ठीक है, तो ये एक्टिविटी है क्लास, अंडरस्टैंड. अब यहां पर देखिए ये सब चीजें आपने पॉसिबल आउटकम्स लिख लिए. 1 2 3 4 यहां पर लाइंस पैरेलल है क्लास, आपने मेंशन कर लिया. देन आर इज सिमेट्रिक. ओके, मतलब जो लाइनें आपस में पैरेलल हैं वो आपकी सिमेट्रिक हो गई. देन वी से आर इज सिमेट्रिक. अब क्लास इसके बाद हम क्या करेंगे, नेक्स्ट आपका ट्रांजिटिव है. ट्रांजिटिव हम क्या करेंगे, ट्रांजिटिव आप कर रहे हैं L3, अब आप 3 4 5 में करेंगे ना, तभी तो आपने डिफरेंट पेयर्स लिए ना, डिफरेंट पेयर्स लिए. अब आपने 3 4 5 ले लेंगे. L3 is parallel to L4, L4 is parallel to L5, then L3 is parallel to L5. 3 4 4 5 3 5 3 5 ऑलरेडी यहाँ पर प्रेजेंट है. क्लियर. Then we say after this we take L4, L5, L3, then L4 and L3. It is also being ये भी true है ना यहाँ पर, ये भी पैरेलल हो गया तो ये भी हो जाएगा. फिर आप एक और पेयर बनाएंगे, दूसरा पेयर क्या बनेगा, आप L3 L5 ले लीजिए, दे आर पैरेलल, L3 and L5, L5 and L4, then L3 and L4 ये भी आपस में आ रहे हैं पैरेलल, ठीक। तो उसके बाद नेक्स्ट हम ये मैंने अभी तक सिमेट्री प्रूफ किया। नेक्स्ट मैं ट्रांजिटिव इसको मेंशन कर रहा हूं, इट इज अप टू सिमेट्री। Class, now after this, this is the last part of this activity, transitive. Okay, so I get in 3 lines, 3, 4 and 5, and I make a relation with possible pairs L3, 4, right? L3 and 4 is parallel to each other, and 4 is parallel to L5. Then L3 is also parallel to L5. Third condition ये हमको मिलना चाहिए, it is to be checked. Both should be given, it should be that should be present. Okay, या चेक आप करेंगे तो आपको ये चीज मिलना चाहिए। अगर ये नहीं मिल रहा है तो मतलब वो ट्रांजिटिव नहीं है। ओके, बट यहाँ पर 3 and 4, 4 and 5, 3 and 5 भी हमको पॉसिबली हमको वहां पर मिल रहा है। ओके, नेक्स्ट पेयर पे आइए। अब वन पेयर इज नॉट सफिशिएंट, हमको हर एक पेयर में होना चाहिए, ठीक है। तो हमने नेक्स्ट यहाँ पर 4 and 5 ले लिया, 4 and 5, 5 and 3, then 4 and 3 is also parallel to each other. Okay, and the last L5 and 3, 3 and 4, and L5 and L4 are parallel to each other. It is also belongs to relation R. So with these 3 lines have been proved, and then in general also what are written here, same thing also written here in general way, line Li, line Lj, and line Lk. So if Li is parallel to Lj, Lj is parallel to Lk, then we can say Li is parallel to Lk. Okay, so with the condition of parallel, we have to prove the relation transitive. Okay, on set A, ठीक है, on non-empty set A. तो अब क्लास ये हो गया, बट अब यहाँ क्वेश्चन ये आपके माइंड में आया होगा, आप मैंने L1 और L2 क्यों नहीं लिया? बिकॉज हम एक्चुअली जो हम एक्टिविटी कर रहे हैं ये हम अपने एक फिगर से कर रहे हैं ना, हमारा मेन बेसिस क्या है फिगर, हमें जो गवर्न कर रहा है रिलेशन, और जिस तरह से हमने फिगर ड्रॉ किया है जो हमारा एजम्पशन, हम उसके अकॉर्डिंग इस पूरे क्वेश्चन को कंप्लीट कर रहे हैं, ठीक है। अब यहाँ पर L1 L2 है, 3 नहीं है ना यहाँ पर। अब यहाँ फॉर एग्जाम्पल L6 होता तो जो हमने यहाँ पेयर्स बनाए वो हम वहां पर L1 L2 और L6 के लिए कर रहे होते, बट इट इज नॉट देयर, इट इज नॉट देयर, ओनली 1 and 2 इज देयर। तो 1 and 2 में हम यहाँ पर सिमेट्रिक हमने प्रूफ कर दिया, बट ट्रांजिटिव हमने प्रूफ नहीं किया। बट ये भी हो जाएगा क्योंकि हमने इन जनरल ले लिया ना यहाँ पर, और हमारी आर रिलेशन क्या है, रिलेशन आर इज कोइंसाइडिंग एंड पैरेलल। तो हर एक लाइन की कोइंसाइडिंग होती ही है, ऑब्वियसली बात, ठीक है। और फिगर में जो हमसे लाइन पैरेलल लिया है उसको पैरेलल भी हमने शो कर दिया। ओके क्लास, तो अब यहाँ क्लास हमारा जो रिजल्ट है, रिजल्ट of this activity is the relation R is reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Then the relation R is an equivalence relation. Okay class, now class activity over. Okay, this is the required explanation, and class you copy down in your practical 5.